Good morning, everybody. Pastor Stitch, Narrow Path Christian Church, BC, Bay City, Michigan. Welcome to the Biker Devotional. Today is October 13th, 2025. And we're going to look at Proverbs chapter 13, verse 7. One man pretends to be rich but has nothing. Another pretends to be poor but has great wealth. And you know what? That wasn't the verse I thought I was going to read. I had 7 in my mind, and I was confident that was the number, and that's why I said it to you. And then I looked at the Bible and read it, and that wasn't what I was going to talk to you about this morning. But clearly somebody needs to hear this, so it's probably me. One man pretends to be rich but has nothing. Another pretends to be poor but has great wealth. Verse 8, riches are a ransom for a man's life, but a poor man hears no threat. You know, sometimes the things you have feel like your safety blanket, your safety measure. I've got this I can fall back on. I can tell you when my dad was alive, he would tell me all the time about all the things that he had that were safety measures for the future. He would tell me the things he had that were of great value that when he died, I'd be able to sell and get good money for. I'm here to tell you most of it was junk. And I knew it back then. But to him, it had great value. And under the right circumstances, it could have value, but the reality is those circumstances are unlikely at best. One man can pretend to be rich, actually has nothing, has junk, but has a lot of it and feels like they're rich. Another person can pretend like they're poor, pretend like they got nothing, act like they got nothing, which, by the way, is when you're chasing for more all the time. But you actually have great wealth. You know, Paul tells us that our wealth is in Jesus Christ. The only thing that wealth does is provide a way to pay your way out of a problem. And a poor man, unlikely to end up with that problem unless he pretends he's rich, and then he will put himself in positions of those problems because of the way he lives. Recognizing who we are and what we do is critical in the way we live. Today, I have a lot of stuff. And I am not foolish enough to think that if something were to happen to me, the thousands of dollars worth of sewing equipment that I have would be of great value to my wife. Because the value is in the using of those tools. The reality is, if she went to turn around to try to sell them, she wouldn't get nearly as much as I paid for them. The value is in the use of those things, how I put them to work. There's a reason they call me Stitch. I sew for a living, and my machinery that I use, I have a dozen sewing machines that do different tasks. Some are right here in this shop that I am sitting in. Matter of fact, one is sitting right there behind me. It's a high-end embroidery machine that I make patches with and embroider shirts and hats and things like that. I spent good money on it. But only to the right person is it got any value at all. And that's just the way it works. One man pretends to be rich but has nothing. Another pretends to be poor but has great wealth. Riches are a ransom for a man's life, but a poor man hears no threat. Are you pretending that what you have is actually wealth? Or are you looking at what you actually have in your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and realizing how wealthy you really are? Something to think about today. I love y'all. Hope you have a great day. God bless.